All right, everybody, what's going on? It is Sunday, the first Sunday in January 2026. And want to welcome everybody in back to the live show. I have a lot to get through today. And sorry, I got distractions going on. I got a lot to go to today. And I think that I've been feeling and I've been needing to do this. And there's something that recently came up within about the last 2 weeks that prompted me to have to speak about this. And I'm going to bring everybody through kind of some history. And I've sat back for quite a while and I've watched all this activity. I've been involved in some of it because finally I've been, speaking up for myself. And I probably should have done this a long time, but it's a long time ago. But I chose to ignore it and I chose to try to take the high road in a lot of this stuff. And it just gets to a certain point where dogpiling comes on. Your reputation is now being smeared. Your personal information is being put out there. Um, so I wanted to dig in and dive into this. And, I listen, I love it because I know all the troll accounts they're watching. I'm probably disrupting people's Sunday nights. Everything will be clipped. Listen, I know who you all are. So come on in. I'm glad that I'm disturbing your Sunday night. And we'll hang out for a while and we'll go through a lot of this and just kind of put things on the record and just show you patterns of things that I've saw because I've heard a lot about, oh, this guy talks shit and this guy's a piece of shit and he never really did anything in the free kArEn ReAd movement. And I'm doing this today from my subscribers that want to be here, that want to be part of what I'm doing and what the vision of this channel was. And it's gotten so fucking out of control now. I mean, watching and listening to everything that's gone on over the last 4 months, and it's just got to a powder keg now. It's getting ready to explode. But I want to go back through history and clear a lot of my name because some more things have come out over this last 4 months, sitting back, watching, observing, taking notes. And it's given me now the opportunity to go out and speak about this because something has happened to me. And I've been asked a lot of questions about it. I'm sure that it's been clipped and it's been saved. It's been probably passed around. It's been retweeted. And this is activity that's happening on Twitter. And it's now have this opportunity because of what happened to me. I have to speak about it. So, very nice to see here, everybody. Good evening. Gonna kind of take you through this tonight, and hopefully we can see, what's gone on and things that I've seen here. Some may agree, some may not agree, but we'll go through it. We'll go through it. So let me bring up what I have prepared. Let me share my screen. All right, so let's do this first. Let's do the temperature check. And this is great because I like this. I've been seeing a lot of this lately, and maybe I just add this into a subject, a section in my shows, in my live shows going forward. But we'll take a temperature check because this was really good stuff to watch this. So let's go to this first. I love these comments. And these are on a couple of streams that I've done over the last couple of days. When I called out like the glarer and I've hit Jess back, and Jess and I have been having a nice little back and forth battle on Twitter over the last, couple of months. And it's been pretty fun, I guess. And so anyway, I love these comments. You're such a bitch. So adults can't work through their own issues and move on. And then we have the other one. You and the dog walker Mike are petty little men. Grow up and act like adults instead of mean girls. You're both despicable and shameful. And then we have the 3 clown emojis. I love that. And then I like this one too. I've unsubscribed to you all except for TV. Time everyone starts acting like adults, not high school kids. I will completely agree with that. It's time for everyone to start acting like adults and not high school kids. I love that. And then I like this one too. Delusional asshole. That one's good too. And then let's see. I see you do not change. I like this. I unsubscribed, and when the division of the kArEn read fell apart, and you are the direct result of the division after listening to this episode. Really? I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help this person out tonight. You are creating the divide. You and Crawford have karma coming in 2026, and I'm here to watch karma take hold. Bye, LTL and Young Jerks. Well, that's fine. I hope you have a good day. And then I like this one too. I'm unsubscribing today from you. Okay, Godspeed. Have a good day. All right, let's move on here to the positive comments that people are seeing. Let's see. So 3 days ago, I wouldn't worry about Jess. Her followers are there for nonsense. She has no integrity. She is racist. This morning, she called an Amazon driver a dumb Haitian, and she didn't even know him. She judged him by the color of his skin. I can't believe she actually said it on air. She's the definition of a grifter, has lost 2 jobs the past year, causing trouble in her own party, has turned her back on her. In the end, honesty, integrity, and morals all prevail, all which she has none. And then we have great stream, and I agree. Jess talked about you all this time. Insecure people need to talk about others and make themselves feel better. So I take that as a compliment. And then we have this comment here. TV's trying to jam you up. Let's see. Watching next day, LTL Media is the only paid subscription I have of honesty, info provided, amazing guests. People like Jess Machado are trashing, jealous because of success. And it just goes on and on. Actually, when I heard you vent for the first time a few days ago, I was happy you addressed the elephant in the room. And then the last one, I got the B hat on tonight. I'm supporting the glare, by the way. And then we have, so glad you have hung in there and stuck up for yourself. Integrity always prevails. And that's the one thing that I have done through all of this, is that I felt that there was a mission to cancel me by a collective group of people. And we've heard about this divide, the TV side and the kArEn side, and it's been gaslit through all these channels, all through X, all through Facebook, all through chats, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be, it's been gassed up. And there's this big thing about the talk of the divide. Okay, I'm not going to go through the history of that. You guys know where this division came from. I'm going to just tell my portion and piece of this story, because now things have added up and I'd be able to sit back and concentrate it, because before I was concentrating on my shows. I just didn't want to have pay any attention to it. I'll move on and let the people leave my channel that did. So let's just think about this. I think at the height of, and we'll talk subscriber count here a little bit. I think at the height, I think it was at like 55,800. I lost about 4,000 subs back in August when this whole shitstorm, and we're going to get into it, about Enrique Delgado Garcia came out and about this alleged video. So drain off 4,000 subscribers. He's going to go away. He's nobody. And I started to work, and I started to work even harder on my channel. And I put in a ton of work. I started submitting multiple FOIA requests, digging into other stories that were in and around our area, out of state. I was traveling a little bit. I was meeting with other particular people in groups that I felt that I could lend a hand to in their group and help them. And I met some really great people over these last 4 months. I've done tons of collaborations. I've had, Nan and Todd on for our Monday spots that we've been doing. And we're hoping to get back to that because we have issues in subject matters we want to talk about there. So, so I get banged out, and, massive subscriber purge on the channel. It's fine. I just looked at it. These are people that don't really want to be here and be supportive of what I'm trying to do on my platform. And I built it back up. And then we went through another turbulent point where I think I went down another 1,500 and built that back up. And because now I've come out and I've talked, people have, they're leaving the channel again. The funny thing about that is this, is that the people that have left, they actually came back and they resubscribed, because you know why? I was putting out great content. And then when I dropped the stream a couple of days ago and started, standing up and sticking up for myself, they didn't like that. They didn't like the truth that was being put out on my channel. and they get very angry at me, and you're the divide, and you guys suck, and you and Crawford, fuck you, all that stuff. Okay. And they left. And that's fine. You guys can go. I don't need the toxic people on this channel. I want people that want to be here along with my YouTube journey and help grow this channel in a positive way. But we'll proceed. And I'm hoping that tonight we can start moving on. If you want to say it's your side and our side, however you want to pit it, go ahead. But I'm going to tell my piece of the story here tonight and clear my name and get my reputation back, because my reputation has been fucking smeared across this whole thing. And the sad thing about all of this is this: the names that are getting dragged right now, you can drag my name all day, I don't care. But you have to look at the situation. Why are we here? Free kArEn ReAd, which was a phenomenal thing that took the hold of my life for almost 3 years. And I came in great contact with amazing people. And there's been some shitty people along the way too, that I started to kind of size up and figure out. And then you have John O'Keefe, where we still don't have justice for John. We're still trying to get to that point. But those two names are being dragged in this. And those are the two subject matters in this. You're a piece of shit if you do a live stream for kArEn, you try to raise funds for her. You're a piece of shit if you try to raise funds for Aiden, whatever it may be. But this is all being lost in all of this. And even to a certain point, Delgado Garcia got dragged in this too, because all the vileness that got used against me to try to crush me. And I know that I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change minds in this. But I'm doing this for the people that want to be here on LTL. Because this was a content-based channel. And that's why I ignored a lot of the shit for a long time. But I had to come to my platform and start speaking. So anyway, and I appreciate the chat. I'm seeing a lot of positivity in the chat. I'm just going to try to get through this presentation. Maybe we pull up some chats at the end. But I just want to get this off my chest and off my mind, because something has recently happened to me. And there may be consequences. And there may be things that I have to comply with. All right. Do I still have the chat? Perfect. All right, let's move on. So I put this tweet out the other day, and thank you so much. I appreciate you, AV. He's a great guy, man. It's just such a great guy. And feel better, please. I know you've been super sick. Everybody's been getting super sick, after all this shit that's gone on. So anyway, and here I am getting congested and nasally now. I hope I'm not going to get this bullshit thing. So I put this tweet out the other day. I got to kind of turn this way to read my screen. So some people are noticing, what the change is lately. Why are you starting all this drama? I never created any drama, and I recently started responding to it. Speaking for myself, I tried to handle the shit fest that we're experiencing over the past 4 months by choosing to ignore it. But when my name and reputation are being dragged day after day, stream after stream, it reaches to a point where you have to speak up and punch back. 4 months ago, Tennessee Will, Messy Jesse, TB tried to cancel me. At this point, you're either ignorant or willfully blind to see what's actually going on. Thank you, NH Dude. Again, I want to get through this, and we'll maybe get to some of the chats at the end. So for people in the back, keep asking, why are you starting all this drama? Well, here's the reality. The full-blown scrub-out campaign against me, the Young Jerks, JFK, James Jackson, began about 4 months ago. Tennessee Will, and I actually go back, I think, a little bit further than some of those guys. And me and Mike are probably about the same time, because I know that there was a situation with some of the Aussies, Miss Shorty, and Mike's name got dragged in that by Will. And then Will ultimately had to do the right guy thing and make up with Mike because he saw that it was counterpunching his money and his channel, and people were pissed off because Mike is very well respected in this community. Mike does great work. Mike puts on great shows. He always gets criticized about, oh, he has all these guests on the time. So fucking what? That's Mike's platform. Maybe Mike likes to talk to people. Why do you think that I had built a studio to have in-person reality conversations with people sitting in front of you so you can have an organic conversation back and forth? I was trying to level up, and I have every right to try to level up my platform to make it more professional. And I did start to polish my image a little bit and clean it up and be a little bit more polished and have a little bit more professionalism to what I was doing. That's my fucking prerogative to do that. And I get criticized about that? Big fucking deal. What are you so worried about? What I'm doing? And I've said this before, and I'm calling out Will and now Jess, especially Will, very concerned. And I'm gonna play some of his shit tonight. Very concerned about what I'm doing. Oh, the studio, the coat, he's donating 25%. Well, instead of crying about all the people all the time, and I've said this before, I've been very vocal about it. Why don't you fucking work on your content? Why don't you start submitting FOIA requests and learn how to do that and get the body cam footage and get documents that people want to see? I don't know. Maybe you're feeling like you're being outdone. You got all fucking day to sit around and do this stuff. I mean, I work a full-time job. This is not what I do. I have a career, I have a job. I have to go to work to support myself. But I wanted to get in and start this platform to help people, to dig into things and give people conversation to talk about and subjects to talk about and look at things at a different angle. So, and you can play this, and please play the whole thing tonight because I know you're going to chop it up and you're going to play the whole thing on your stream. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Whoever's going to go back and play this. So, and then we go into the timeline, adding Jess and TB. I shared this the other day, and I actually went over it again, and there was some dates and times that I just corrected by a day or time, and we're gonna get into that tonight. So this really started to happen to me back in August. So over the past few weeks, others have spoken out as well, confirming the same timeline, putting it out there, etc. And look, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere. All right, so let's look at what the last 6 months of my content was. And this was my content. This is what I was working on. This is what I was putting out. And I went back, I don't know, 5 months, 4 or 5 months, 3 months. This is like August, June, July, August. It's like August, September, October, and then November, December. Of course, you guys know what I've been working on as well, too. Okay. And this is, I guess, the competition, if we want to call that, or the other side that doesn't like me, Mike, and co. And this is what we got. We got let's get petty, the picture of me on the toilet. We have the LTL stream. We have Aiden jumping in. Again, Will, and you see a lot of this is Will. Will loves this shit. And this is going to leave a lot of evidence open as why, like, I never took to this guy because he's a piece of shit. I don't like to fuck with people they're pieces of shit. And that's why I always had a weird reservation around you, Will, because I know about your history, and we'll talk about that. And things that you've done just don't align with my values. There's one certain thing that you have done that I just feel that no one can come back from that. Okay. So I think we're going to get into the Jess Machado stuff. Okay, Jess Machado stuff. We'll go there. Okay. So she comes out in August 16th and does this show. But prior to that, I was platforming her on my channel during the trial one. She did a bunch of shows with me, and then when trial two came around, I said, "Hey, I'd love to have you on the show." She told me, "I got to be honest with you, I'm not I'm not working for Fall River Reporter anymore. I need to be compensated." Sure, let's work out a deal. So we went into a contract negotiation, and you can see the payments here. It was $1,000. She's been very vocal about this. She's put the contract out there, whatever. She's publicly put my name out there, whatever. And I want you to just guys to notice here. We have the two $500 payments, but I gave her three good faith payments afterwards. Actually, double three good faith payments here out of that. Our contract ran out, and she said, "I'm going to stay with you until the end." Now, she didn't ask for any money, but I was just being nice and tipping her for her time. Here's $100. Here's $100. Here's $100. And I was helping her out. And you can see this here. June 19th, you didn't need to do this. Thank you. June 11th, you didn't need to do this. Thank you. So I'm continuing to help her out while she's there. And then I noticed something. Now, this is the time, and I've discussed this with Mike, and I picked up the phone and we figured it out much longer after this. And he said, we should have done this phone call a long time ago. Called him up like a man. I said, "Mike, let's just talk about this kind of like friction that's been between us." But what I noticed during that time, and I'm thinking like, and listen, she didn't have any contractual obligation to this, and it's not in our contract. But I just thought like, all right, I'm paying her. We're, I guess, friends in this. She's a colleague of mine. She's coming on the show. I think she even made some comments about like, "No, I'm gonna, stick through Brian through the show." But we started seeing things. And what she started doing to me, knowing that at that time, I was very vocal to her about some friction between me and Mike. She started going on Tuesday. She did 2 Tuesday shows. And someone in my circle said, "Hey, isn't it kind of fucked up that she's coming on your show on Wednesday, but she's doing, Mike, the Betterow shows on Tuesday with Mike?" And I kind of felt like that was like a gaslight, knowing what she knew, knowing that there was friction between me and Mike. I felt like that was like a gaslight. I kind of let it go, and I just said, it is what it is. I mean, I have no contractual control over that. She can go over if she wants to go over on that show. Maybe she's getting paid, maybe she's not. I don't care. So we continued the cycle. All right. Let's go. So now we'll move on. Oh, this is the fun one. So, okay, let's talk about the revenue. This was a big thing on her show too. Her first show, and I'm gonna play some of that. So let me stop sharing my screen. Or should I do the timeline? Maybe we'll do. All right, let's talk. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna play this. Let's play this first. I feel like a boomer tonight. Come on, boomer. All right, let's do that. And let's share this. Okay, so this was the famous LTL show. That was unnecessary. That and we'll go through the time because I have all the timeline. Let me go a little smaller here. I got the timeline. But let's just I know you all heard this, but let's play through this.
Value into it, and it closed in 6 months. It was a little like children's convenience consignment.
Now this is what set all this into motion. This show right here. And a lot of her issues is like, going back and really today was the first time I actually went back and listened to this because I just didn't care at the time. But this helped, kind of put my timeline together. And going back and listening to her, it's like, and it's almost like kind of the same pattern with Will, that these two felt like I should have been bowing down to them. That when they walked in a room, I should have been like, yes, Yes, I'm not worthy. And you're going to get a lot of that from this. Let me play this.
And it closed in 6 months. And it was so difficult for me. I would not even drive past it. I would drive around in town where it was so I wouldn't see it. I live around the corner from it now, but there was
Now she's talking about a failed business that went out of business in 6 months.
a time where I couldn't look at that failure. And so making this into a business and going all in, like, it's a little bit of apprehension because it's like a business and if I fail and blah blah blah. So, but I had to do it. So anyway, we're legit. We made a business. We've done all these things, and now I recognize there's all these little like weird revenue streams that pop up. Like I'm monetized through X. I'm now monetized through here. There's ads. There's my Substack. There's I do some freelance writing, and so there's all these little.
Third show, money, views, clicks. And this is going to be the pattern now. You're going to hear a lot of this. Money's, views, clicks. Keep that in mind. Her, Tennessee Will, money, views, clicks. This is all we hear about. Statistics, money, view, clicks.
Revenue streams. Until those things are substantial, I need my advertisers. They allow me to pay my bills and pay my phone bill and be able to not go and get a real job so I can do this full time. I'd like to come to a point where I don't need my advertisers and I adore them and love them, but I feel like all these little revenue streams will eventually add up to just enough. I'm not out here to make a lot of money, just enough to get Erin to quit her job so she can do this full time. That's it. That's all we want. And a trip. We'd like to go to Fort Lauderdale again. That's it. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, go with the pool.
Talk about
No
LTL.
bunny ears for this next segment. We okay? All right. So let's get into some tea with Brian LTL. So just so you know, Brian does not know what I'm going to be talking about. He did text me.
Could have just fucking called me. This is kind of my theme right here. You could have just fucking called me. I called someone today. I had an hour and how long was that call? An hour and 20-minute call. We did it like an adult offline. And we agreed and we disagreed. But at the end of that call, there was a resolution. It's called being adults. Pick up the phone. But this is what she wants to do. And the funny thing is her chat starts coming at her like, what the fuck? You're being a hypocrite right now.
I did not respond. I feel it's important to clear the air. So let's go back to last year.
Got to clear the air.
I am covering the kArEn.
The big thing. She always got to clear the air and get out ahead of things, right? And we've seen that fucking debacle. And then she ultimately, you guys know the history here. I just want to go back to my situation here.
Trial, as some of you may know, not as well known as I am now. And Brian LTL, I will.
As she is now, because it platformed you, gave you a platform. I gave you a platform.
The way I learned about Brian was I wrote my article about Turtle Boy when he was in jail. And so I had this interview with him. It was the first interview with Aiden while he was incarcerated. I don't know if incarcerated is the right, when he was in jail, being held on to 60 days. I did this interview with him. Fall River Reporter published it. And I didn't know anybody at the time other than Aiden from him writing a story about me, but through talking to him through his attorney, Tim Bradel. And so someone messaged me and said, there's a guy and he's reading your interview with Turtle Boy on his podcast right now. And they sent me the link and I clicked, and I think Brian was streaming out of his home at the time, and he was sick and he was like reading through.
See, there it is. He's streaming out of his home at the time. That studio really hangs on them. That really pisses them off that I have the ability to do that. Well, I work and then I do things with my YouTube earnings to level my platform, to increase the level of my platform, to give back a better experience to my audience. And if you have a dream and you have the capabilities to do that, you should too. Whatever the fuck you want to do with your own money is your prerogative.
My article, and that was a big deal to me. Nobody outside of this area had been like looking at my work, and I started to like get some people commenting and very moderate followers. I didn't get anything crazy, but that's how I have a hair that's like itching my nose. That's the first interaction I had with him. And then I started covering the kArEn retrial the following year. So trial 1, and Brian reached out to me and asked me if I would be a guest on his show. And I said, yes. And then he would ask me more frequently. And I didn't really know who the content creators were. There's now obviously a huge community, but in trial 1, I was still kind of navigating my way through it. So I did some shows with Brian. And then prior to coming on the next trial, Brian had reached out to me and asked if I would do a weekly segment with him. And I was a year later. I had learned a little bit more. And also this time around, I was not working for Fall River Reporter and I was doing this independent thing. And I was like,
and
okay.
Keep in mind, trial 1, she came in and trial 1 ended and we never heard from her again. And then trial 2 came around and we still really weren't hearing from her. And that's when I reached out and said, hey, that first trial, her and I had some really good chemistry back and forth on screen. We were, killing those shows. We were doing a good job. I said, I'd love to have her back on, knowing that she's going to be inside the courtroom again. I think it would be great. We can bring that segment, and that's what I did. If you go back and watch the weeks to the trial, we did the weekly wind up. I had Nan Gallagher and Todd McGee on the show. So we talked about what could be upcoming or what happened in that previous week. Wednesday nights were always with Jess because she was the courtroom correspondent. She was in that show. And then I did another, I think, 3 shows. I did a Thursday night show and I did a Sunday show. So I did 2 by myself and 2 with guests. I wanted to feel like it was programming. So when people came to the show, they knew what was going to be on that night. So if they didn't catch Monday night and maybe they liked the Wednesday night segment. So I had this idea of, I guess, like making a network of different shows for the trials. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was fun. Thursday night was very loose, and we had a lot of fun on that show. The Wednesday nights were the inside courtroom, and then the experts on Monday with Todd and Nan, and we just kept rotating through that. And then, I would, feature creators in the, in between that on Sundays. I would have like the creator spotlight or local people. We would talk about local cases. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing that, and we had some really great times in that. Okay, let me play.
Okay. And he said, I'm willing to compensate you. And I said, okay. And so I thought about what he asked me, what I would want to go on his show each week. And we came up with a number. And I agreed. And the number one reason I agreed is I didn't understand how these things work. But what I did notice is that Brian would give a portion of the money he earned during shows to the kArEn ReAd trial in the defense fund. And when I would go.
So what? So what? And she's going to talk about, and when I went and added it up, and Will had a problem with this too, because you're going to hear him talk about it. So what? You know why I did that? Because here I am on a platform. I'm talking about a person that's in a hell of a situation, that's dealing with a lot of shit in Norfolk County, and it's compounding against her, compiling. And they're doing every single thing to put this woman, kArEn ReAd, behind bars. And I felt, under my moral compass, that I'm going to sit on a platform, I'm going to make money, and she needs money for her defense. So I wanted to give back to her. But the thing that Jess is going to fail to look at here, that YouTube takes a huge percentage of what we do here, and you got to pay taxes. So all that money that I gave to kArEn ReAd's defense fund, which I'm not complaining about this all, she doesn't realize I got to pay taxes on that too. Oh, and the money that I paid you, I got to pay taxes on that as well too. And we'll look at the numbers and the statistics. I have them all here today because someone called me out the other day. Let's see some statistics. Okay. We'll see statistics. That's why I gave money. And you weren't there. All the times that any time I was in presence of kArEn or her family, I was always handing her an envelope of money. You weren't there for those times. But that's what I wanted to do. And who gives a fuck what I do with my money? And it just became a very critical point with you guys.
Back and see his donation, I would calculate, well, if that's 25% of what he earned while he was on the air with me, he earned a lot of money when he was on the air with me. And
we'll get to that.
Like, if I'm going to be a guest all the time, and I'm going to bring the views, which I was bringing the views. And I'm not saying I was the view bringer, but I understood the value of what I brought to the table. I cultivated a number. I gave it to Brian, and Brian was like, yes. And I just want to be very clear. Aaron is pointing out that it wasn't the exact number that I asked. The number that he gave was...
Of course, because that's called negotiation, you dumb fuck. If you had any mind and you wanted more money, then you should have pushed back. But you know what? I paid you good faith payments after our contract ran out. I continue to tip you. So maybe you need to be a better fucking negotiator in contracts if you're upset with what you got paid. That just shows your business sense and what you think your value is. That's not my fucking problem. And I love how this became a subject of conversation in all of this. Oh, we paid her. Big fucking deal. She was a contracted employee because I felt bad for her story. Well, I just, I'm not contracted anymore. I got to make money. Sure. If you can add value to my channel, and that's a private transaction, but you had to go and make it public and talk about it because you were uncomfortable.
Little bit less, and I agreed to it. And
And you
so
still
he
made more
said
money because I
yes. I
paid
said
you
yes. He drew
more
up an
money
agreement,
out of
and
contract.
I just want to say upfront, he was extremely professional about it, and I have been fully compensated for the work that I did. I think he actually even gave me a little bit extra for a week or what have you,
Did.
or like a show after the fact, or I'm not really sure, but I think neither one of us could complain about
paid
the
you.
professional agreement that we had. And so that was pretty much that. Then the trial ends, and as you know, I had been thinking about starting my own show. Now
Okay. This
I
is the hair flip
fangirled
now.
over
'Cause
all
here
of
it
these
comes.
creators. I like Maza Media. I like The Glare. I like Mike Crawford. I like Aiden. I like LTL. I like all of these guys. I will share their work and their stuff, especially when I'm on their shows or they invite me on. By the way, just for full transparency,
Here's her crux now against me. Okay. Here's her crux. Now, listen, it's building here. This is her crux because she wanted me to do this. She wanted me to bow. She wanted me to run. I don't do that. If you reach out for help, and we'll get to it here in a second, if you reach out for help and you call me, I need some help. Sure, you've helped me. I don't know a lot about this audio stuff. I'm getting a studio. I have it 8 months free. Great, call me when you're ready. I told her I'll come down there. We'll get a wish list together of all the things that you need. I can tell you to set up what you need for a basic studio to get that up and running, but you got to call me. I'm not going to chase you. I am way too busy. I run my own channel and I have a full-time job and I have personal and professional relationships offline. I have parents that I take care of.
many people asked me to be on their shows. I would do a one show for free for anybody. And then if it were going to be a reoccurring thing, I was very clear that I would need to be compensated. I fumbled one and I'll openly admit it. Who is that guy? People will know. Is it
He doesn't even know it's Runkle.
Runkle? Do you know who that is? Targaryen? What's that? Game of Thrones guy? I don't know who that is. You guys will know who it is. It's the Rumble of the what I don't know what it's called. I was in court covering Karen Reed and he messaged me and he was like, "Would you like to come on the show?" And I did, Ian Runkle, thank you. And I don't know who he is, right? But I sent it to the group chat and I was like, this guy's asking me to go on the show. I didn't know who he was. I went and looked at his
Maybe do some research, find out who he is. Guess that you're gonna go that potentially want you to come on their show. It's not that hard.
YouTube and he
I
has
know it's gonna be work.
I don't know, he's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. And I was like, oh, this is a big show. And I was like,
I know it's a big show because I get the exposure. I go out there and I get it. Oh,
will need to be compensated for this. And I said, I do have an appearance fee. And I know some people are going to say, hi, Maza. I know some people are going to say, I'm going to get to this in a second, but like, I decided I needed an appearance fee.
man, I'm getting annoyed.
And I said what it was for the hour. And he said, you know what? I'm going to think about that. Maybe as the trial goes on, I'll reserve that for another time when there's like the verdict or whatever. And he did not message me back. And so I think maybe in that instance, I looked at him and his numbers and I thought I should be compensated for this because
numbers, money, views, clicks. This is the mindset. This is a mindset of a desperate person. This is not the mindset of someone that's here for good intentions. This is not the mindset of someone that wants justice because she hasn't fucking said one thing yet about Karen Reed or John O'Keefe or justice for Turtle Boy. She hasn't said that. We're hearing clicks, views, money, subs, views. Oh my God, I fumbled that one. I could have been in front of 100,000 people.
he's probably making a lot of money off of this. And I never heard back from him. And so I fumbled that. And I should have stuck with my rule of thumb, which was I will do one show for free. Listen, I did a podcast with a girl and she's probably on here. I know she follows me. It was terrible. It was bad for my brand because I could barely get through the conversation. And she asked me on air if I would come back and I was like, sure. And I was like, never again. So I always felt like a one would be great.
This is why people don't want to work with you. Because you just don't take a bad situation, you move on from it. But you got to go out and air all these people out. It's just
and be sufficient. But with Brian, he's very structured. He has a whole thing. He does a lot of work. He gets all of these things going. He's got the thumbnail clips, everything's just perfect and very well done. And I appreciated that. And so the partnership was great. And I also feel that, I wasn't making any money off of what I did. And I don't know how else to say it. It's just minimal money, minimal things. It's not enough to live off of. And all of these guys were way ahead of me and they were all making money. Mike Crawford makes money. They make money off of what they do. And
money, clicks, views, subs.
I felt I needed to protect myself and find ways to earn money from my talent of talking and bringing my perspective. If you didn't want it, then don't pay for it. And I don't want to be like a boss babe here with this, but I don't know. It was my thought and I don't regret it. Anyway, just don't ever compromise. TV should also request to be reimbursed for his appearance as well. No one works for free. I've said that about Aiden and I'll bring it up another time, but I think, he can make his own decisions, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing, but I was just very protective over my brand. Anyway, no issues or no problems. Here's where the problem happens. And maybe it's being dramatic or girly, or I don't even know how to say it, but the only person that I called the day that I got, is so self-important, a dig at me, or is that, I don't know what that means. Anyway, so the only person that I called outside of like my friends or family the day I got the keys to the studio was Brian. I called him right away. And there's two reasons why I called him. The first reason is that I understand Brian to be very competitive and also cares very much about the other creators around him, whether he works in conjunction with them or does not interact with them. I know Brian cares very much about the competition in the small industry we have of kArEn ReAd or post kArEn ReAd life. And I know he cares about that. I know that because I worked with him and he would talk about it frequently. And so I don't pay attention to what my other people do in that respect. I don't care. My competition is with myself.
What did we just hear 3 minutes before this? Money, clicks, views, subscribers.
And for your loyalty and views, I don't compare, and Erin will testify to that. It's almost maybe to my detriment. I don't care and I don't pay attention. I very rarely watch.
Oh, you don't? What was the graphic you put up? And I'm going to show everybody here in a couple minutes. She put this graphic up the other day. LTL Media, Young Jerks, Jess Machado. But the problem is Jess doesn't know YouTube analytics. She doesn't know how to go in there and look at it. So she made a fool of herself.
Other shows unless you're talking about me. I don't watch your shows unless I'm on them and it's a replay. It's not because I don't think it's interesting or you're not good at your job. I don't have time. And I know enough about you where if I'm agreeing to associate with you, share your stuff, or be on your show, I feel comfortable being adjacent to you. I don't obsess over it. I don't watch. I don't care. I don't compare your numbers to mine. I am in my own realm. And who I'm competing with professionally isn't even a part of this whole thing. And I'll divulge that at another time. So I know how Brian is about these things. And in my opinion, Brian can let it get to his head. And so knowing that about him, knowing that he may consider this competition in a way, I called him. I called him leaving here. I called Erin first, I think. I called Kathy, and then I called Brian. And I wanted to tell him about it. I didn't want him, I was gonna announce it, and I didn't want him to hear it from here because I didn't want him to like get weird about it. And
that's so weird about it.
I'm not gonna say that he was like excited as my besties were and like my people, but he was nice. He's like, that's great, or whatever. And I asked him, I was like, I'm gonna need your help. Like, I need help with my studio and setting up the thing.
She called me while I was at work, and I think the call was at like 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm at work, and I'm like, I got like 2 minutes before my boss comes barking at me.
Things, and he was like, yeah, sure.
Right.
Like, he never did. And did I ask him, 5 times?
Because I was supposed to do this, remember? I was supposed to bow down to the mighty Jess Machado. That's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was supposed to do in this. Kiss her fucking ruby slippers. And she didn't get that. I didn't go running. Do you want me to go right now? I gave her the standard answer. I think it's phenomenal that you have it. She goes, I don't know much about this tech stuff. Can you help me out? Sure. Just I can get a list together for you. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call me. I don't chase you. Again, super busy. I work full time, something that you don't do. You don't have a job. I work full time. I do YouTube almost full time. I have personal, professional relationships outside, offline. I have parents that I need to take care of. So my life is very busy to go running to you and following up. Wait. I don't do that. You asked for my help. So you can call me when you're ready. So anyway.
Can you come here and do this stuff? I didn't, but I thought that the conversation was clear that I was looking for some help. You guys know, I don't know the way things work. What did that say? Arising. Oh, I thought that my conversation was clear. I was looking for some help. I don't know how to do these things. There's a reason why we haven't done the sit down piece yet, because I'm still not 100% sure what I should buy and how to connect it all. There's a reason Aaron doesn't have a mic, because we don't know how to do it. And so I asked him about it, and he did not, he never, came back around to that. And maybe I could have called and asked specifically, hey, can you come here at this time? Or, hey, what do you think about
Maybe I could have called and asked specifically. Yeah. All this could have been handled on a fucking phone call, you dummy. Like an adult. When you have a disagreement or you have a grievance. Hey, I didn't really like that you didn't do this. Okay. I'm sorry.
This I didn't, but I thought that the conversation was enough. And Brian has never shared my show, not one time. He has not talked about my show unless I haven't seen it. And nobody, I mean, I have people that would tell me. I didn't feel like he was reciprocating my enthusiasm for his show for here. Now, I guess over time, I thought about it and said, maybe he viewed us just as a partnership financially and like a contract. And if that's the case, I have invited him on here. I just started getting a lot of questions, people asking me like, where is he? Like, blah, 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 blah. And I just,
Well, you had to call me. That's where I was. You had to fucking call me. And I literally said, as you were posting all your little photos, Jess Machado's show coming 5 days, Jess Machado show coming 3 days. I said, well, I guess she doesn't need my help anymore. It looked like you pretty much had it under control. So the fuck you want me to do? So anyway, and let me drop this. So I had enough of that. Let's make my point on that. Let me go back to my presentation here. I think it was going to take a lot longer than I wanted it to tonight. But anyway, so we had that. That was, let me share my screen. Let's go back to this. Okay, so let's go here. All right, so we go back here. Let me bring this screen over here. And okay, so she talked about all this money, all the money. And I'm sorry, I just want to get through this tonight. I'm going to let you guys chat. I'm going to let the moderators handle it. Maybe we take some conversation when I get to the end of this. But so she talked about all the views and the money that I was making with having her on the show. So I went through and I looked at every single stream, and I looked at the watch ads, the super chats, YouTube premium memberships, super stickers, any memberships that came through. And that would be on the specific video. So I pulled all that data, and I wanted to say, I think I ended up paying her out like $1,300. Was the value there? Did I make the value? So I went through, and you can see the dates here on the streams, $148, $200, $75, $130. And these are all the shows that we did together. The 6 contract, and I think there were 3 afterwards. $216, $193. And then this is the Karen Reed acquittal, which was the biggest show that we had. And Nan was on that show that night, Jess, myself. I don't think we had another guest. Maybe Nan's in the chat and can correct me. Nan, do we have another? I think I saw her in here. Nan, do we have another guest that night? I don't think we did. I think it was just the 3 of us. I think that was the 3 of us. And maybe someone in the chat can remember. And I'm freezing. Why am I freezing? Did I freeze? Looks like I froze. Why is my camera freezing? Hang on. Can you guys hear me? All right. I think I'm back. I think I'm freezing. Hang on. All right. Let me see. My camera's freezing. Can hear me. All right. My camera's freezing for some reason. That's weird. All right. Anyway, I'm just going to go to this. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I think yeah, I think it was just us tonight. Great time to freeze right now. Come on, StreamYard, you fucking motherfucker. All right, my screen's freezing. But anyway, our biggest show here, $667. And we did one stream right after that, $131. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Restart the camera. All right, hang on. Let's see. All right. Let me just get a text out there. Can you hear me? Because I just want people to hear me, even if I can't be on camera. Let's see. I'm going to try to. Oh, no, I'm definitely freezing. It must be a StreamYard issue. Anyway, I'm going to have to turn my camera off for now. All right. So And hopefully StreamYard's working. If it's not, I can shut this down and start a second stream. I have no problem doing that. Just waiting. Can someone confirm that they can hear me? My StreamYard's freezing up here. I might have to start a new stream. All right, I'm crystal clear, but my StreamYard's freezing. And I can't see where. All right, hang on. YouTube Studio is unresponsive. Let's see. Bear with me for a second. If this doesn't work, I'm going to start I'll start a part 2. It's a StreamYard thing right now. It's frozen up. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, something's going on in my StreamYard. Hang on. Yeah, everybody's saying it's working audio-wise, but my StreamYard. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start a part 2 because I don't know what the hell's going on in StreamYard right now. Unless it's gonna come back. Because everything is frozen in my whole computer right now. Yeah, my Chrome is not responding. Hang on, guys. My whole I don't know if you guys can still hear me. All right, am I back? I think I'm back. I think we're good. I think I'm back. Okay, I think I'm back. All right, all right, let me pull my presentation back. All right, perfect. Glad everybody's here. Sorry about that. All right, so where were we in the presentation? Okay, so we were at this stage here. Yeah, Chrome sometimes when it gets overloaded with tabs, it doesn't like that. All right, I'm back. Okay, perfect. All right, so we had the kArEn read acquittal, and we did another stream here. So this is kind of my fuzzy math, what I've come up with. Okay, and I'm going to try to increase this a little bit so everybody can see it. So let's go through all the money that was made. Okay, so when I came through everything, we had a total of 8 shows. I came with $1,762. Remember, it's always about numbers and clicks, views. That's how she views this. So you have you have to take into accountability that you have deductions from YouTube, and that's the partnership program win. It's typically around 35%. It's like 30 to 35% of YouTube earnings. So 1762, you have the earnings, you take out the payout. Now I'm at 1145. I had the contract. So all my pre-tax income is like 1145 after YouTube takes their cut. Now you're gonna probably guess in about 25% for taxes. I got to apply that. And I have this now. I have the 6 contracted shows. I did 3 good faith payouts, and you got to pay taxes on that. And I got to pay taxes on my YouTube money after the partnership deductions. All right. So now you look at the final stat: total gross revenue, deductions, 25% in taxes, what I gave her as a contract, the $325 in good faith payments, ended up being about a minus $765 having her on my show. So all the money that she talked about that you know, that she made for the show, it didn't even add up in the end to what I paid her, to what I paid out, what I paid in taxes, what YouTube took from me. It didn't add up. Um, all right, let me just get back to a normal screen here. And I want to move on to some more critical things and a timeline. Okay, let's look at the timeline. And thank you all for being here. I had a little misfunction with my my StreamYard, just being a piece of shit. Okay, let's look at the timeline. I'm going to bring this up, and this is really where things started to kind of go off kilter, and I started seeing a lot of things, and things just started kind of being adding up, like the canceling of LTL. So someone asked me the other day about the timeline, and I had to sit back and think about this. And again, I'm just kind of letting the chat go. You guys can keep talking. I appreciate all the long gamers in here. I see a lot of moderators in here, a lot of people that are supporting. And again, I'm doing this tonight for my subscribers to set the record straight about my reputation in this. Okay. And shit that I saw many, many months ago, over a year ago, I saw some shit that just didn't sit well with me. And I started calling it out, and I started trying to make people in my orbit aware, like, hey, you probably want to be careful of this person, or I just don't see this person, being honest, or it's kind of shady that this is happening, and so on. So anyway, I went back to the timeline, and you're going to see some highlights here. So if you look at 2024 to 2025, I had an extensive channel growth, of course. I was banging away, kArEn ReAd trial, full trials, trial 1, trial 2, ground footage. I was out there filming at the courthouse. I was going to standouts. I was going to the hearings, just trying to be out as present in and around the courtroom as much as I could to gather that content, because there's a lot of people from around the world that don't have the opportunity to see that or be there. So I wanted to be, in the mix. You have April of 2024 is when I acquired my studio, and we're going to talk about the studio here in a minute. And then now you've got Will starting to take shots at me in 2024 into 2025. We have the Nathan Reed interview, 6/20/25, and that interview is with Jess. Okay. Now I want you to look at the date. 3 days later, she calls me about her studio, and we heard about that. And she complained, and I didn't play it further, but in that stream, she said, I didn't like the Nathan interview. I don't think that it went well. I don't like the questions that he asked. The funny thing is I had some pre-planned questions, and I wanted to be respectful to Nathan and said, just look over these. Do you think there's anything that we can't go over, or anything that you don't want to touch on a subject matter for legal reasons, whatever it may be? She saw them, she looked at them, and we sat down and did the interview, and I had a dead duck at the end of the table. She didn't interject. She didn't come in. She did that more towards the end of the interview, and she sat there and cowered up like this. And I said, okay, now going back, I'm like, was this part of her plan? Is this part of the plan? So she calls me on the 23rd, and this is when she talks to me about the studio, and she asked for the setup advice. And obviously I just talked about this. I offered my help, and then I didn't hear from her. She had the opportunity on the 23rd to talk to me about the Nathan Reed interview. If you had a problem with it, then discuss it with me like a fucking adult. Hey, I just didn't like this about it. Hey, I didn't like that. It kind of made me feel this way, or I might have looked bad. You could have worked through that. But now she's going to use that in August, and you're going to see when this all starts coming out what I feel is the plan, because She hits me with the small LTL show. I don't think it hit as hard as she wanted it to hit. And I'm going to show my response. And then that gasses her up more. And then she's going to use something that happened in the studio that night that was private to the people that were in that studio. And she's now going to go back and twist this and use it part of her narrative. So now we have, I now on 7/29/25, where I worked ridiculously over the last 2 years to get my press pass, I finally get that press pass. It gives you access to the courtrooms and go in and sit inside the press box and report on cases. Maybe they didn't like that. Maybe she felt like I was going to cut into her stories. There's a million courtrooms around the state of Massachusetts that I could go to and cover cases. I don't know. Maybe she felt threatened by that. But I still haven't seen her go sit in court since kArEn ReAd. I don't know. Maybe she has. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know. But so what? If I want to go cover over the cases, so what if I want to go in and sit in the press box? So what? I'm leveling myself up. I'm learning something. I'm learning a new skill. I'm pursuing my dream to do that. Maybe it will be, teach me a few things being around, the mainstream journalists that have been there for years, to observe and see what they're doing, to translate some of that. Maybe I will go take a course on journalism. Maybe that will inspire me to go back to school and do that. All right. So now let's get to 8/16. And that was the show that I just showed you. And that's where Jess launches her show. She's very discouraged with me, that show. She starts trashing me, and it starts going into some coordinated X posts. And then you have Aiden that starts kind of gaslighting this thing up. He starts taking the X. And then you have 8/16, and I believe that was a Saturday night. I don't know, maybe someone can go back and look at it. At 8:40 p.m., I get a text from Aiden. I'm going to talk about the thing between you and Jess tonight. Why? I'm going, why? Well, because everybody's talking about it. Okay. Well, why would you want to spin that up? I literally just a few weeks ago did a huge fundraiser for you. And I'm thinking to myself, he's a guy that I've been supporting. I've been out in front of the courthouse for him. I've taken days off from work to be at his hearings. One of the biggest ones that I was at was, the moment that he's outside the back of the courtroom. And I was there for that moment when he comes out. And it was a really powerful moment in that he steps out of the back of the van and says, he's going into the van. He says, justice is coming. It's a pretty powerful moment to be there. From what I remember, I think I took a day off from work to be there and film this and go out and support this guy and raise money for him. And I'm going, well, why is he doing this? Doesn't make sense. And contributing money out of my own pocket to this guy. Someone said to me, the relationships between you and him are always going to be transactional. And maybe it just wasn't good transaction for him anymore. And I did that nice gesture where I went out and I got him the silver play button because his channel was demonetized. And this is someone that I'm believing in at this point of the journalism that he's doing. All this awareness to kArEn ReAd case and bringing this forward and being out on those court steps and being a powerful voice in this movement and rallying these people together. I'll never discount him on that. He did that. He got this thing going. And then they just gas pedaled it and it went. And there were other people that came along. But that's okay. That was going to happen. This gravitated and brought a lot of people in. And there was a lot of people that had different opinions about it. They wanted to talk about it on their platforms. That shit happens. When there are big cases and big things, I went through this whole thing with the Idaho movement, where there were multi-creators that talked about this 24 hours a day. I won't discount the work, but what it's turned into is, come on. So I call him. I was actually at my new studio because I had started in a smaller room. I went to a middle-sized room. I just took on a lease into a very much larger space, and I was building that out. And I remember that night I'm in there and I'm like laying wood out for a wood wall that I was going to build in the back of the studio. And I called him immediately. I said, "Well, this is like 20 minutes before the show," and I can't remember. I just said something like, "What, well, this is, I said, you, I said to him, well, why do you have to talk about this? You're just going to spin everybody up, and it just doesn't make sense to me." It was something to that nature. And he said, "I'm just going to go on and do my show. I can't control the internet." That's what he said. "I can't control the internet." Yeah, but you can control what goes on in your platform. I can control what goes on in my platform. People look up to us in a certain sense. They look to us for news. They look to us for our opinions. They look for us for our ideas. That's why they come to these platforms. And that's not cultists. That's just being responsible. That's not being a cult leader. That's being responsible. That's being responsible with your audience. It's being responsible for people that supported you. So now it goes to 8:16 to 8:19. I think there's like 3 streams where this thing really starts getting gassed up. And now at this point, I have it here. I think I have it. Let's see. Oh, here. So 8:16, I put this response out about Jess doing the show about me, and fucking people are supporting me, people are fucking hating me, and now this thing's getting really gassed up. Okay? But it didn't hit hard enough. So she had a piece of information that happened the night when we were in the studio where I talked about Enrique Delgado Garcia. And I brought up I had a source that came forward that showed me the video. It's a single camera video. It was on a GoPro. And I watched what happened. And I think I had 2 screenshots. And I'm in a room with people that I can trust, that I've brought into my orbit, that I've brought into my circle. And I showed the screenshot at the end of that podcast that night. It was not a video. I don't have a video. I've never possessed a video. And that's why I'm putting all this on the record tonight. And I fired back because she was claiming online it was a video. And now you got Aiden in on this, and Aiden's gassing this thing up. And I said to her to set the record straight. And this is what's fucking terrible about this. It's all unfolding in front of the Garcia family because they're on X and they're present on there and they've been following everything that I've been doing. And I said to set the record straight regarding Jess Machado's comment about the Enrique video, since I don't want there to be any misunderstanding about her journalistic integrity. She hit me with this text message. "Oh, you fucking," what did she say to me? I'll read some of it. Your denying of being in the possession of the Enrique video on a public live stream is calling into my question my journalistic integrity. I am fiercely protective of my reputation I have in the news community. It took me years to build and earn. Your statement denying the video and calling the rumors defamatory towards me. Well, I can't admit to something that I don't have. Okay. And I said to her, if you're such a great fucking journalist, then why didn't you say, can you play some of it? Can we see it? And I have other people, a few other people, and I'm not going to name them, that know what I had at that time. And it was not a video. And I know that some people will believe me, and I know that some people will not. But I'm going to give you a little bit more here in a minute, because something that recently came out about me and was shared on X, and it's probably been downloaded, and it's probably been clipped, and it's probably been shared. And that's why I'm going on the record tonight, and I'm doing this. So now you got Will, because now Jess has done her stream in the morning, and he's going to go back and watch and absorb it because he has no content. And now he's going to start gassing it up. So you see the level of gassing now. She didn't hit me with he didn't call me. She's trying to make me look like a piece of shit. It didn't hit hard, but she knew that she could go back and spin this. And I have other witnesses. So my credibility is there. So let's do this. Let's listen to Willie, because he's going to gas it up now. Fuck, I got to go back. Let's see. Where is What if they're doxing? I love this guy. He's fucking phenomenal to watch. Oh, I love this guy. He is a walking contradiction. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring that. Let's do this. Let's listen to him a little bit.
I can't do that. I can't do it.
But what you do is you gaslight situations. And this is why I don't like you, Will. Because you're a piece of shit. And you create a lot of divide amongst people. This had nothing to do with you, but you saw it as an opportunity because you have your crux against me, because I don't like you and I never bowed down to you when I met you. So now you're going to gas it up. Let's play a little bit of
and I know enough about you where if I'm agreeing to associate with you, share your stuff, or be on your show, I feel comfortable being adjacent to you. I don't obsess over it. I don't watch. I don't care. I don't compare your numbers to mine.
See, this is the stupidity I'm talking about. Well, you yourself said everyone has a right to their own opinion, and as human beings, they are using their First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. You see me fucking hiding people? Dummy. See, this is the problem, is you dumbasses think that the First Amendment is so one-sided. You don't even know what the fuck it means. You see me hiding people? No. What I'm doing is exercising my First Amendment right to call you a fucking asshole. And the fact that you can't see that tells me all I need to know about you. Nobody's saying that you can't have your opinion. I'm just telling you that your opinion is something that I disagree with, and to some degree makes me think you're fucking retarded. Depends on the opinion.
So anybody that fights back with this clown, he always gets very angry. Very, very angry. I want to see, there's the part where he starts talking about money. Might be here. Let's see. Where does he talk about the money? Because he has a big problem with that. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
And that's it. That's 9 out of 10 times that's how these conversations go, and they go in writing, and that's all you need.
Let's see. Where was it? It might have been here. Oh, StreamYard, you're being great tonight. Look at this fucking piece of shit tonight. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here. I really do. And this is, again, this is for my subscribers. I'm going to just refresh this.
Just a fun conversation. There's an understanding that, like, for me, it's an understanding that, oh, okay, well, that's a chance to build an audience. That's a whole crowd of people over there that's probably never even heard of me. And they're going to drop my channel links in the chat, and I'm going to get some new subscribers.
This guy, I want to find the part where he's like, just really, it's like a big money thing with him.
I actually hope that he does great. I hope his channel does great. you know, but the thing is
What
when
is it,
somebody
Will?
shows you their true fucking colors
Oof,
and you have been
colors.
seeing their true colors for a long time,
Why is he
and
leaning
you've been
into
seeing
the...
this, well, then like I said, they show it to you. Well, then, okay, now I don't have to sit here and fucking be quiet about it anymore. Now I can state my opinion. And you can take it or fucking leave it, Brian. I don't give a shit. But I'm not going to sit here. And ironically, it's really because, this was one of the things I was talking to Jess about, because I remember I had this beef.
Oh, are you seeing the connection? This is what I was talking to Jess about. Jess, LTL stream, Will in the afternoon, Aiden at night, all on that same day. Okay? All on that same day. You see the gaslighting? Let's light it up. He's a piece of shit. Trial's over. Studio, billboard. They're mad about the billboard too. But I did that for that family because that story was being forgotten about. And this is not hitting hard enough. So now we have to bring in the Delgado Garcia stuff and start spinning that story.
For the only other person in this community I've ever had beef with was Mike Crawford. Okay. And that was on me as far as like it being a public thing and expressing my opinion about it. And, you know, that was me. I was definitely the person who was like, you know what, fuck this guy all publicly and shit. You know what I mean? And then I felt bad about that because there's a lot of people here who
felt bad about it because you went after the wrong person. You went after Mike Crawford, someone that has been very respected in this community. And then when you saw it was hitting you and hitting your fucking your money and your subscribers, your fucking channel wasn't growing. You decided to go, Mike, I'm sorry. And I saw it when Mike was on the panel with him. I'm going, Mike doesn't fucking trust this guy at all. I can see it. Because you're a bag of shit. You're a shitty person. You're a super shitty person.
like mean equally as Mike Crawford, right? And it felt shitty to put them in that position. It felt even shittier to put like the friends I've made, the mutual friends that we've made in that awkward position. I felt really guilty about that the whole time. And then when the verdict,
I had it fucking, what does he talk about? You know, the money, the clicks, the views, the money, the clicks, the views. You guys have fucking heard him. The money, the clicks, the views.
Sure as fuck don't feel entitled to anything for it.
You know, a lot of time when people talk like this, they're angry at their failures. They're angry at the things that they couldn't accomplish in life. This is a lot of like, you know, looking in the mirror and yelling back at themselves. This is, you know, and they just try to use someone as their punching bag. And they just observe, wait, like, why do you care what I'm doing? What I'm doing on my channel does not affect you. The things that I talk about do not affect you. And I've always said this too. If you want to do better and you want to level yourself up, do things like go out on the street, down to a courthouse, get into a case, go out and shoot video outside a courthouse. Why don't you learn how to do FOIA requests? Or I don't know, Will, I don't know how to help you out anymore. I really don't. But lately you've been doing a lot of bitching and complaining. A lot of bitching and complaining. And, you know, usually if you're not winning in something and you want to win, you got to analyze it and write it down. Okay, maybe these are some things that I could do and apply those practices. Have a goal to strive for. Don't wait for people to create content for you to bring it up and talk about it. Because that's literally all you do. You might read a motion here and there. You might be asked to come on a fundraiser, and then when someone on the panel asks you, what are your thoughts on this? And you go, an hour and 20 minutes in, dude, and you had nothing to say because you weren't following the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case, but now you're all pro Kelsey. I love it. It's good shit. I wish we could get more to it, but I don't want to make this like a super, super long But you know, he goes into and you hear it, money, clicks, views, studio. Is just really pisses him off that I've done this. So fucking what? Who cares? Who cares what I do with my money? Who cares what I do? If I want to fucking improve my platform and level it up, it's a really weird thing that sits with you. But again, I think just a lot of your anger at me is that I didn't run to you. I didn't run to you. And I don't do that. And there's reasons I didn't run with you, and I'll show it tonight. So then we have Will's petty stream. And then this was very interesting. The day, I think this is the day, no, he did do a night. It was night. Will's doing that stream. And guess who sends me a text message? Aiden sends me a text message and sends me the fucking link to Will's show and says, basically urging me to jump on there and he'll go on too. And I'm like, I'm out, dude. I'm out with friends. And then he's like, well, I think that we need to do it the next day or sometime soon. Do what? What do you need me to do? What? You wanted me to jump on a fucking stream? Like you were trying to like say that you were going to be my savior? Oh, I'll jump on there with you too. To do what? Because you guys fucking had it lined up that you were going to try to bury me. First of all, I'm out with friends. Second of all, I don't want to jump on fucking Will's channel. All right. Now we get to look at the 24th. So now Garcia's been out there. It's been talked about for the last week. And this is the 8/24/25 stream. And this is where it gets really fucked up because I didn't even watch this until now, today. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay. But now you have to look at it on the 19th. And this is why I'm speaking today. And I'm putting this all on the record because there has been an alleged conversation, a recording that has hit the internet that is alleged between me and Aiden. And I've heard the topic of that conversation. And I get a text message on the 19th at 10:05 a.m. and it's talking about the confusion around the Enrique video. And I'm like, I don't have the video. And then look, actually, me back up. Jess at 8:19 at 10:02 a.m. texts me, and that's that whole my journalistic integrity. And then 3 minutes later, I get a text from Aiden. You see the timing of this? And then I call him 20 minutes later. And that's the alleged recording that's out there on the internet. I didn't give permission for that. I didn't give permission for that. That is a recording. I didn't get permission of that. And I didn't give permission to be shared. And I know people are going to sit here and say, well, if it's alleged and it's real and it's a recording, then how do we know you didn't do it? Because you know why? Because when they forensically, if this ever happens, I hope it doesn't, but if they ever forensically extract the phones, they're going to be able to tell where that came from. And they're also going to be able to tell where it went and who got it and who received it. So I'm putting this on the record tonight. So now let's back up. Let's go back to the 24th and the 25th. Because this is really now we go to the 24th. And this is super fucked up. And I had to watch this today. And I was like, what a fucking liar. Turn this up.
And it's like, and to me, I was like, and on top of that, I can.
All right.
All you like. Sorry, I got distracted by chat. Go ahead, Kim. Take that away. I had a total brain fart right there.
No, I just wanted to say, boys, it's a night. I got to work in the morning. I'm doing Jimmy's class at like 7. I've got to work at 8:30 this week. At some point, Aiden, I am going to do. I'll do a Kevy Kev 781. I'm
you, Kevy
sorry, Kevy Kev.
Hi,
friend. Let's dance. We'll have a dance party soon. God, I think he's a fantastic human. All right. And Aiden, I wish you the best. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Will, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for joining me.
Lovies, be good.
Yeah. Thank you,
Nice to meet you again. Bye, guys.
Peace to you, Bum Grease.
Bye, Miss Kim.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll probably get going too, but I just want to stop in. It seemed like a fun party, even though
yeah, it was fun. I had nothing planned. I hadn't hung out with the two of them in a minute, and I figured we would have some fun and do that. I'm glad you jumped on and joined us.
did you guys
Now it's going to go to, did you talk about the elephant in the room? And that's the Enrique Delgado Garcia video. So let's get to that.
I didn't see the whole stream. Did you guys avoid talking about the elephant in the room?
For their sake, I
so
did, but I don't mind
rehearsed
talking
here.
about it.
This is so fucking rehearsed.
But if you do, if you
I mean,
want to
whatever.
talk about it,
I'll let you. I'll let you do the talking. I've said what I need to say.
I've said pretty much what I need to
That's
say
true.
too.
You did have
You
a
know,
3-hour stream
like,
on it. That's true.
I had a 3-hour stream on it. I confronted him on JFK's, and he showed his ass exactly what I expected he would, and he proved my point for me. And that was
But
it.
I don't. He's impossible to like hate. Like you can't hate the guy. Like,
I don't.
You know exactly.
This is
Like
gaslighting.
I never did,
We're
and
on
I
one
still-
here.
do want him to succeed. My question is,
If you want me to succeed, then why did you just go on a campaign for the last, week, almost close to a week and a half, and fucking trash me? You want me to succeed. And here it is, like a fucking month ago, I'm doing a huge fundraiser for you where you're in the chat and said, hey, thanks for doing this for me. But again, I understand it's transactional.
is there any coming back from this? Like, can you come back from this? Can you succeed if you're him? Is there a way? Does he have it in him?
That's the question. That's the question. Because what it's going to take for him. Because here's the thing. Fuck it. Since we're talking about it, we're talking about it. Listen.
Yeah.
The impression I have of him, and I think it's more than fair, is that he is way too concerned with everyone else around him and what they're doing. Rather,
Am I? Really? Am I, Will? 3-hour petty streams, money, clicks, views, subscribers, the studio, the billboard. You're going to hear it.
than what he's doing.
Mhm.
And like him
I
setting
work,
up the
dude.
studio and changing his image and having this whole, interviewer persona and everything, it's not coming from a place of trying to improve his channel. He's convinced himself that it is,
What?
but it's coming from a place of trying to beat those around him.
How the fuck
And
do you know
with
what I'm
that-
thinking or doing in my life and in my head, dude?
Attitude, I don't see how you could be successful.
But like he knows he can't beat me, obviously. Like, so is his goal to be
Don't
number
want
2?
to be you.
Yeah, because you're the only person that he didn't have a fucking meltdown over. He was like, no, I love Aiden Carney. I love Turtle Boy. Like,
Yeah.
And honestly, like a lot, this isn't just him. A lot of people kiss my ass. I'm just saying, like a lot of people do. And I'm not like, it's like, I think people are afraid to come after me for whatever reason. But they can be honest. Like,
Conversations here are so ironic because you have the biggest Aiden ass kisser right there, and he goes,
Are you gonna get cringy tomorrow? Wear your Boston hat and Boston shirt and say that you're all Boston because you're not Boston, bro.
Bro,
Let's just
there's-
say that.
God damn, Will. You got
You're
a
not
point
Boston,
there.
Will.
you can be critical of me. I don't bite. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
well, right. I mean, we talk about that all the time. We talk about how you could be, you're easily the type of person that either you get where he's coming from or you don't.
Mhm.
So meaning he's going to offend you or he's not going to offend you. Like I've hung out with you enough in person to know what type of human being you are. You know what I mean? Like most of what you're doing on your channel is for sheer entertainment.
Mhm.
And people don't seem to know how to separate that. Like you hung out with me in person. Do you see
True.
me fucking sitting there and like, when we're in public? No, dude, I don't fucking, well, except for that one.
You don't
time.
really do that on your show either. You're the same
Well,
person in your show.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But
Yeah.
I'm a little more uninhibited here. I am. I guess there's a little social anxiety that kicks in when I'm around the people that I interact with here in person. That's something I just dove right into that I'm still getting used to, but I'm loving. You know what I mean? Every time I go to Boston, I love it because everybody's just awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, like it's something I got to get kind of used to. But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, but it's so bizarre because everywhere I turned for the last year and a half was, dude, fucking LTL.
This guy.
Man, he fucking hates you, dude. He fucking can't stand you. I don't know what it's. And I'm like,
Dude.
I mean, that's his problem. You know what I mean? I got no problems with him. That was always my response.
show
Ask
you
anybody.
why.
I never trash talk this dude.
Yeah, you never
You
did. To me. I've asked you about it before too, and you're like, I have no problem with the guy. I don't know why he doesn't like me, but it bothered you. It seemed like, dude, what's this? Like, I don't get it. You know, like
It bothered me only enough to make me go, only enough to where my curiosity was like, I don't get it. You know, as much as like a math problem would bother me.
right.
You
No,
know,
I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Pissed that when he showed up in Boston, I didn't run to him and hug him and go, Will, you are the best. You are the best, Will. Because I saw through him in fucking 3.5 seconds. And I knew his background, and I knew who he was, and I knew it was someone that I didn't want to fucking associate with.
Because I'm the same way sometimes. I'm like, but why don't you like me? Like, it's like, wait, I don't get it. What did I do to you?
If I can do something, sure. But I always was. I actually made it a point to be extra nice to him. That's why I was so quick to call him a fucking liar on JFK show, because I always was aware of how he felt about me based on kind of how he acted around me, but also people around me talking. And so I would always make it a point to be extra nice to him, you know? And then sure enough, on JFK's, he's like, the reason why I don't like you is because you're always stuck up to me. And that's where James Jackson was like, no, hold on. Because I met this dude and we hit it off the whole day and you were there. You know what I'm saying?
I was there.
No, I'm talking about James Jackson and
James Jackson.
Brian LTL. Yeah, James Jackson. The first time I met James Jackson, Brian LTL was there.
Uh-huh.
And the funny thing about that is James Jackson's account of what happened was me and him clicked right away. James Jackson tried to introduce himself to Brian, and Brian stuck his nose up at him pretty much. Just turned.
No. When I go into a new situation, when I have new people that come in my orbit, I'm very protective. And why wouldn't I be? Look what fucking happened to me. And look when I called out bad behavior and I started warning people about people because my fucking spidey senses came off. And guess what? We're now on the other side of that. And look who the shitbags are that came out of this. I was right. And since then, James and I had a very nice conversation. He understood. I understood. We talked it out like a man. We didn't fucking do this crybaby bullshit. And we're good. We respect each other. We have a better understanding. It's called trust. I just don't run to people. That's my fucking personality. I guard myself a little bit and go, okay, well, a new person's kind of come around and they got a platform and a channel. And I've seen some really shitty behavior over the last year and a half. October of 24, pretty shitty behavior. I'm like, all right, well, I got to guard myself a little bit. And I was right.
Around
Oh,
and started
right,
talking
yeah.
to somebody else.
Yeah, that
And then-
wasn't good. That wasn't good.
But
James
accused everybody else of being stuck up, you know, and it's like, and to me, I was like, okay, he wants to be stuck up, let him be stuck up. It doesn't bother me. That's his problem, you know.
Mhm.
Like I've got all these other people to interact with and click with. You know what I mean? Like I
know. Your
want to. I
friends
made
all
the
over the
effort, but if he
internet,
doesn't,
I know.
if he doesn't meet me halfway, what am I going to fucking stress over it for?
Then what are
You
you
know?
bitching
And he
about?
did try.
You sound like a fucking ex-girlfriend right now. That's literally what this dude sounds like an ex-girlfriend that got dumped. It's the weirdest fucking thing. You sound like a chick.
At the end there, he had a little spice when he was talking about the Boston app. He's like,
Mm.
I don't like the bot. Like that was the first sign of I've ever seen of him where it's like, oh, BLT throw a little shade at someone. I've never seen him do that before. It was the first sign of a little bit of personality. Whereas,
He was, and even still, he was trying to fucking latch on to. He was trying to recruit JFK.
No, I really
against
wasn't.
me.
oh, they're Boston guys.
because the stream that JFK did before that, he mentioned something about me wearing Boston gear. Like he made a
Oh,
joke.
okay.
He made a joke about it. He was just riffing.
I mean, have
You
you
know
ever
what I mean?
watched a rap
Jealous, man.
video? I mean, every rapper wears like a Major League Baseball hat of some team from a city they're not from. Like,
Right.
like I've seen like
I
every
love
single
this
time. It's like
dude.
stylish.
I do it because I respect Boston and I feel like I'm part of that community.
Like what people do, they wear
We're
hats.
gonna get to the
Like,
good
I
part
own
here
a
in
whole bunch of
second.
hats of teams I don't like. I just think they look cool, some of these hats. And I'm a big hat guy. And you know, it doesn't mean I support those teams. I just like hats. So people
Well,
like hats.
I support. I just wear the gear because I'm supporting the city. This is a city
Mhm.
that has embraced me as one of their own. You know, to a certain degree. Everybody who is local in my chat for the last year and
All the women you took from, the jacket, the Mexican Jordans, the people that you've latched onto, the people that you show up and you go, can you drive me to the dispensary the minute you get off the plane? Fucking people that have never even met you before. You're asking them and bumming them for a ride. This guy's a leech.
a half has been saying, you're so Boston, Will. We love you. Boston loves the glare. Boston loves the glare. So for those specific people, and half of the fucking Boston gear I have are gifted to me from people in Boston.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they want me. You know, certain people from
They
Boston
want
who
me.
fucking really, you know, I'm not saying
Found
the whole
my acceptance now. They want me.
goddamn city. Who the fuck am I? I'm saying that certain people embrace me as one of their own, and I cherish that. I don't
Yeah.
squander that. Is all that.
And
is.
you know what? Like during the football season, right? Like the Patriots obviously sucked last year, whatever. And like I noticed in my chat, there was like a lot of people from Michigan to a Lions fan. You know what I mean? It's like it's just sport ball. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't even follow sports. I enjoy sports. I understand. I'm going to enjoy it almost as much as Boston hats because I'm a
see with my pep talk there to like come back and be a more authentic person with this channel and like just be, if you took my advice and just embraced it and ran with it, like that would make me feel good. I'd feel like a mentor, you know? So
Yeah.
I am rooting for him. I'm not one of these people that wants to see BLT fail.
I don't either.
You know,
I don't
Gaslighting.
either.
Yeah.
Like I seriously don't. But
Yeah.
the fact is I'm not going to just at the same time just going to let this dude slide
Totally.
with being fucking phony, and I got to fucking sit there and hear people who support me be in this awkward position and DM me with this shit. I don't even respond to the DMs, but I get bombarded with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
like,
you.
And it's like, why am I hearing about
I
this?
don't respond to them. All those backroom Discord chats, right, Will? You don't respond to anybody. You don't respond to anybody, but you open up your fucking phone lines at the end of a 3-hour petty stream and you let people call in and shit all over me for an hour. That's not responding to anything. Opening up your phone line, gaslighting this up, having people come after and attack me on the phone, calling me a piece of shit. That's not responding to any of it. You're a fucking
so
piece
much.
of shit.
What is this guy's fucking problem?
Mhm.
You know, that just got
Problem
to that
is
point.
you
know,
hit
but
women.
like I said, I agree with you 100%. I think that he's a nice person. You know, overall, I think he's not a bad person. I don't think that he's mean-hearted, and I don't think that he's, you know, he genuinely wants to see.
Remember, this is like 5 days before this. He does the 3-hour, the petty stream, and again, open up his phone lines and let people dump and shit all over me. All the good that I've done in this community, this guy is just fucking mad at it. Well, get off your fucking ass and do a little bit more.
Other people fail. I just think that he's in this place in his mind, and I've been there before, where
Have you, Will? You
it's
know
just
right where I am.
easier
in
to
my
blame
head,
other
right?
people for the way you're feeling, you know,
Mhm.
and you
But
get you get in a spiral about that, and then
Here we
all of
go.
a sudden that's your
Now,
reality.
this is
Everybody's
kinda
blaming, you blame
interesting. Let's watch this. Watch the clicking, looking at the screen. This is interesting. We reading notes.
and I don't think that he's mean-hearted, and I don't think that he's you know, he genuinely wants to see other people fail. I just think that he's in this place in his mind, and I've been there before, where it's just easier to blame other people for the way you're feeling, you know,
Mhm.
and you
But
get you get in a spiral about that, and then all of a sudden that's your reality. Everybody's everybody's at fault for everything. I mean, the fact that he accused Nurse Kim of having Bettero on as a fucking like a deliberate plot.
That he admitted to it.
Right.
I would never admit to that. Like that bothered me. I would never admit to that.
That's my point, though. That says a lot of where his mind's at, because he
Those are
genuinely
sneaky
feels
too.
this way and feels
Her and
justified in
Jimmy.
making that
Other
accusation.
sneaks.
So that's the place where
Know
he's at,
about all
and
them.
he's got
all the
a
sock puppet accounts. Jimmy with his sock puppet accounts, attacking Nan. I know all about it. They gaslight up. Now you got the three together: her, Jess, and Jimmy. They're three peas in a pod. So you look behind all those sock puppet accounts and who's attacking who. We know who's behind them now. And I love it. BLT Media, you watching tonight? Are you clipping this? Jimmy, who are you? Rat House Media, who is it? Is it Aiden? I love it. Clip it. Put it on X. Tag me.
lot of work to do to get out of that place, and it takes a lot of work.
You know, like all right. So like I think
Here we go.
he's got the Enrique tape, which is wild, right? And you got now is his
Don't have the Enrique tape.
chance to be like, holy, like, bro, let's talk about the fucking tape. Now that everybody knows he has the tape, he doesn't have to show it, right? Or he claims he doesn't have it, he just sent it. So like now's your chance to report on what you saw in that tape. Tell fucking everything. Tell who's in it, how many people are in it, how long it is, blah, 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 and just talk about whatever. And like I've gotten, so here, I'll read a message I got. This is from a source recently about this thing.
Love
Okay.
this.
And he says, the source is not sure if you have time or want to look into Enrique's death. I did share with LTL that one of the instructors who was in the room and saw his death was blank. So she's this source. I now know the name of one of the instructors. Okay. And I've looked, this is a trooper. Okay. He actually lives in blank, a town very close to me. Okay. And it says, and I got the address, the whole number on this guy. Okay. I haven't seen the tape, but there are and were 2 cameras in the room running, and both are available to whomever has access to them. And that this per this source, Enrique was complaining of head and neck pain at the base of his head for a couple days prior. Okay. the hit that knocked him down and ultimately was the last hit during sparring wasn't a hard hit, but he lost his balance, almost like vertigo. And the source says, I sent this to LTL months ago. Not sure if he actually followed up or not. I even gave him the source's number, phone number, address, everything. But he never followed up on it.
Dude, if
And
this
so,
was a case.
Well, I went back through all my messages. I went back through all my emails. I don't have an email like that. I don't have a message like that. And let's say this. If this source came forward to you and you just said, you know a trooper's name in that room, you know where they live, and I think people are going to understand where I'm getting here, and you're a much bigger platform than me, you could scoop in right now and put the whole Enrique Delgado Garcia case out there, front to back, then why didn't you do it? If this source is real. And isn't it interesting that we had a conversation a week prior and we discussed this in an alleged recording, the whole scenario? And now you have a source that came forward a week later why wouldn't you go scoop the story then? You would scoop me and bury me, and you would be the hero in the Enrique Delgado Garcia case. There was a boxing match, and there was no ring. 2 rounds, 1 minute each. The whole class is there. It's pretty systematic of what happened. And the biggest thing is, and it's been reported, it's been put out there. Let me share my screen. Mr. Delgado Garcia may have intentionally been paired with a more experienced counterpart for the fatal boxing match, raising serious concerns that may have had an effort to ensure his failure and pressured him to reconsider his place in the academy. That's true. He may have been overmatched. And it was a systematic breakdown that was inside that institution. And this is all being reported now. You can pull articles up about it. It's been talked about more. But I want to go back to August. If that's true, and you have the source that came forward, then why didn't you follow up on it? Why didn't you just bury me? Doesn't make sense. So I want to put all this stuff on the record. And I think it's even just crazy that we've gotten to this point. And it got so bad that they had a statement, and this is publicly going out on X at this point. This is around the 20th because it got so vile on there. And I felt bad for this family. And this is why I've backed off not talking about it. And it's been 1 year and 3 months now. 1 year and 3 months that this family has no real answer of who's going to be held responsible for this inside that institution. And this statement has to go out. And this is tagged. And this is how dumb this fucking person is, because you're not getting it. Statement from the Delgado Garcia family to our friends and loved ones. And this is because there's so much gassing up online at this point because it's been made public. In these moments of profound sorrow, the Delgado Garcia family asked the community for gestures of solidarity and respect, referring to the beloved Enrique Delgado Garcia. We understand that the value in diverse opinions, and we appeal the empathy and sensitivity, remembering what we're going through in irreparable loss. We sincerely thank you in prayers of words of encouragement and expressions of support we have received, which strengthen us during the difficult process. Sincerely, the Delgado Garcia family. Look at they tag. Aiden Carney and Jess Machado, basically saying, shut the fuck up. Let's have a little respect here. And I get messages of still support during this time. But I felt so awful about this. And you get this fucking moron thinking of you and your family during this difficult time and respectfully asking you, why did you tag Doc Turtleboy and Jess Machado? Are you looking for the truth through journalism that could expose what truly happened to Delgado Garcia? Or would you like a social media journalist to be quiet? I don't know. Read the fucking room, you dummy. Will, this is why I don't like you. Because you hit a woman. And I've seen a lot of that in my life. And in my opinion, you don't come back from that. And that's why I've always been iffy around you. And that's why I never wanted to get close to you. That's why I don't want to be around you. That's why I've been iffy around you, because I've known of your record. And I'm sorry, I didn't run to you and bow down to your fucking feet like you're this great person on planet Earth that I should do that. Now we go to October, and this is because I went to the JFK Halloween party because I wanted to go check out a JFK Halloween party. I've never been to one before. I wanted to see what it was about. I wanted to see what they do during their events. And then after that, and you guys know, this caused a lot of controversy. And this is, again, this is adding into the divide, the whole divide, dividing the movement. And I got the that I never supported him. I never supported Aiden. I never supported you. And I had to tweet at him and say, wait a minute, I need to set the record straight here. Hey, Doc Turtleboy, the fuck I never supported you. For nearly 2 years, I hosted multiple fundraising streams for your defense fund and contributed personally to your freedom greatly out of my own pocket. I also stood outside supporting you during your court dates, sat in court, bought your merch. In every Turtleboy event I attended, I always purchased my ticket. How quickly you and everyone else that has shit all over me in the past few months has forgotten about that. Anything I did to support you was never done out of any thought or intention to put a price on friendship, protection from haters, or support from you in return. I did it because I believed, and I believed in you. I believed in your journalism. And I will always give you credit for what you did for Karen Reed. But what you did to me was unaccounted for. And I hope someday that you'll wake up and realize that there are good people out here that want to do good things and help you out. But I don't know if that clicks up there. I've always treated you with respect, never spoken negatively about you, and always repeatedly said that you've been an inspiration to many. Even after you unprovoked attack towards me that began months ago, that still continued and have remained silent until now. I don't hate you or wish ill will. I don't hate you or wish ill will. In fact, I wish I could continue to support you, but I can't. I can't support you. Not after everything that you've done to me. And you've gassed up all these other fucking people and rode with it. It's been deeply disappointing. I sit back and see someone I supported in so many ways ultimately choose to treat me in return So I ask, please take a step back. Look at what you've done at some of your biggest supporters that supported you. You can't use them as a punchline. It doesn't work that way. I'm just being real with you, brother. Perhaps one day this message will click, or maybe it won't. Who knows? And that's it. Godspeed. And I threw in a little, I know I'm a whiny baby and emotions. They always say that, and I should shut the fuck up. And here's, photos of support. These are, I got him the play button because I felt bad. He wasn't monetized. I wanted to do something good for him. He was really happy about that. He sent me a really nice text and said, "Hey, appreciate that. Where'd you get it?" I said, "I had it made for you." Some people took that in another way. It's just who I am. It's who I am. And it had this, "Hey, you did the fundraiser. Hey, thanks for coming in and doing this." Of course, I'll give you my time. You've done a lot for me, in the good time of support. But somewhere along the line, this thing took some evil turn, like you wanted to catch me in something. And I'm not going to discuss the recording, but you know what I said to you. You know what I said in that alleged recording. And you tried to use that, try to catch me. And I've been truthful and honest with you. A lot of people have. This is how we get treated. So again, just, show him more receipts. This is the money that I took out of my own pocket to support him during those campaigns, donated. And these are funny. I'll show this one. This one's kind of funny. Jess made some comment about someone was telling me she made comments about FOIA requests that she taught me how to do FOIA requests, and I put this out. It showed my actual first FOIA request on 12/13/23. The first time I ever came in contact with her was 2024. And she went on this whole rant about how she taught me how she did FOIA requests. I'm like, I knew how to do them before I even came in contact with you. What else do we got? Yeah, her this one the other night was pretty good too. The metrics. And it was funny because I spelt metrics wrong, and it actually kind of was funny in the tweet, and I went back and just put metrics, but she was trying to show views in analytics, and I went in and I just showed my views for December. I mean, she doesn't realize I have a back catalog of videos that constantly roll on my channel. It's just all petty bullshit. This one with her fucking whiteboard. And look, this guy, you want to support this guy? This is the guy that goes on and talks awful about Nan, someone that came into this movement, gave her expertise, supported a lot of these creators, a lot of super chats and, Vemos, because she believed in all these people. She believed that we were doing a really good thing. And, how quickly they turn. She gave her expertise to these panels. And again, I don't know all the shows you've been on, Nan, but I've seen some of them. But I know that you were in these chats, sending these people, super chats, sending large donations to kArEn ReAd, helping Aiden Carney out with his defense fund, sending him large donations, because she's someone that, cares about what's going on, takes her time and drives up here from Jersey to be front and center and help out as much as she can, joins, goes up and does fundraisers, does appearance at fundraisers and donates to them. And this is how she gets treated. This is what this guy does. Puts, makeup all over his face and puts a wig and grabs a phone and calls her, this and that. I mean, these are good people that came in that have, the means to support these defense funds. You'd think they'd get treated a little bit better. We're in this for good intentions. We want justice in these cases. There's nothing more. And I said this to kArEn ReAd the first time I ever met her and ever had any interaction. I sat down at the table with her. I looked in her fucking face and I said, I don't want anything from you at all, except for you to walk out of courtrooms and never have to walk in out of a courtroom ever again, and never have to walk in your life under the thumb of Michael Morsi in Norfolk County, because you deserve that. And we deserve to get answers and get to the bottom line of what happened to John O'Keefe. And that's why I continued this platform and talked about the things that I do and dig in and get the documents and get the FOIA requests and get the videos. If you don't like that, then you don't have to watch my channel. But I didn't deserve all this shit. So, and I spat back and forth with Nurse Kim the other day. I put up, you know, her December 18th tweet about fuck Aiden and fuck Jess. And then, you know, 10 days later, she's, you know, pumping Aiden again. And then on New Year's Eve, she's already made up with Jess. So, I mean, the writing is on the wall with all this shit. Again, I wanted to go through some of it with you all tonight and give you my side of the story because it's gone really deep with me now. And I needed to get some things on the record and clear my name. And I will say this, and I hope it doesn't get to this level because I don't want people to go to court and jail and shit like that. But I'm in a position where I have to cooperate now. So, you know, that's the position I'm in. And it should have never gotten to this level. You know, I don't know what else to say, but that's why I wanted to come on here tonight and do this with all of you, because it's taken me a while to compile all this together and sift through it and make sure that it was clear and make sure it was back, you know, I could give back to you guys to make you understand. And again, it's going to be scrutinized and people are going to call me a piece of shit and it's fine. But this is my truth and I'm putting it out here on my channel and I'm putting things on the record tonight. And you don't have to be here. If you don't like my channel, you don't like my panels, you don't like my material, goodbye. See you later. Nothing that I do here on my channel affects anything that any of these other people are talking about. All right. Let's take a look here. Oh, all right. And by the way, let me just tell you this too. And I love it. Wah, cry baby. I love it. Let it keep coming. You guys are faceless people in the ether. You've never met me in person. You know not one thing about my personal life. You don't know who I am as a person. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what's right here. And I don't do shit like this. And it's fucking wild that it's gotten to this point. And I know people are okay with it. They love it. They thrive in it. But you're all here tonight watching. All the people that left, you want to come in and throw the insults. You have to see it. What's going on? He's a piece of shit. Am I? Let's see. I mean, do you understand why I'm a little bit guarded when I get around new people? All right, $2. Thank you so much. Olaf says, let's do a journey. NH dude, great guy, Steve. Love you to death. Thank you for being a moderator. I appreciate that so much. Good dude, man. Love Boston, new member. Law, thank you for being a new member. Chris, thanks for the gifted 5. Nan, wow. Thank you so much. 20 gifted. Do we catch anybody in the chat tonight, Nan? Were they lurking? 5 gifted from Adam. Thank you. Love Boston. Thanks for the 99 super sticker. Appreciate that. $4.99 super sticker. $2 super sticker. Thank you. New member. Thank you so much. Meredith in the chat. Hello, Meredith. How are you? Thank you for the new membership. Nan gifted another 20 memberships. A lot of new members. It's great. I need to start doing more members only content for you guys. Let's see. One bad dog says 10. Glera was in Nurse Kim's chat today. People told him off and mocked him. He started crying about it on Clubber's Walk and he was butthurt. She said she won't go back on her chats for a while. He won't go back on a chat for a while. Bully dishes it out but can't take it. Suze, thank you so much. And Peggy, thank you for the gifted memberships too. I think I did see something like that. I don't have it anymore. I might have it. Hang on. Was it? Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I don't really care. I think I did see that clip. He was whining about something again, but anyway, so that's it. That's my my YouTube presentation, I guess. Is that what we call it? And it's going to be back to business on Wednesday. I mean, I needed to get this out there. I needed to put this out there. You know, if you want to keep going there and keep talking, I can continue to do it. I can do it all day long. I sat here and ate a lot of shit from these people for the last 4 months. And then the ultimate thing was when this alleged audio hit the internet. And what am I supposed to do about that? I mean, I get tagged in it. There's people that are looking at that post. There's a private conversation that's alleged private conversation that's being put out there. And it's just getting really like, how fucking crazy is this supposed to get? What, over YouTube? This is what this has come to now? Over fucking YouTube. Over talking about a case. It's insane. And by the way, I know a lot of people have asked me about the studio. And they said, where's your fucking studio? They trolled me about that for months. I'll tell you about the studio, okay? I signed a new lease. I was going to move in it. I was actually building out a new space. I was building, I moved into a much larger room, space that I was in. And then all this shit hit the fan. And what I wanted to do, and this is fucking tell you who I am, I'm on the lease for a 2-year contract. There's a lot of money in that lease that I have to pay. But when all this shit hit the fan, out of my good faith to the building owner, because I fucking knew that bitch came down here to my studio and knew where I was and knew the businesses, one of the biggest businesses that were in that fucking building. And I knew that if they weren't going to continue to drag me, they were probably going to go after the person that I'm renting from in that building. And I wasn't going to put it out there on the line to have their reputation as a very successful business in and around Massachusetts, the tri-state area, if that's what we call it. That would be New York, right? But anyway, they go all over the place, to have their fucking name and business dragged. So I went to the building owner, we worked out a deal, and I left. And you know what? It's not out of the question. I'm going to probably acquire another studio at some point. I'm still going to pursue my dream. Still going to continue to do this because I love it. And I love coming here with my subscribers and people that want to be here in a positive way and go through the case files and talk about cases and have interesting conversations with panel guests and have great contributors on my channel. I haven't gone anywhere now, lately. You knocked me down a bunch of fucking times and I'm still here. And I know it bothers you. But what does JFK say? The long game, right? The long gamers. You play the long game in this. And I've worked way too hard. And I want to continue to work hard. I want to continue to get better. So anyway, I appreciate that. You guys are great. The subscribers that want to be here. I'm sorry that we've had to sit through this kind of bullshit over the last couple of streams. And I'm hoping we can just now fucking move on. But I needed to get things out on the record and put it out there on the record and clear my reputation, because my reputation has been fucking smeared for the last 4 months. And people in this space, good people like Mike Crawford, his fucking name being dragged all over the place. Because what? He gave some advice. He talked and said, hey, maybe you should take this piece of advice. And we're going to be here for kArEn, and we're going to continue to fundraise, and we're going to continue to help her civil fight, because we want to get to the bottom of the answers of what happened to John O'Keefe. And that's what people have to understand. In those civil proceedings, more information is going to come out. The books will be wide open, and they will have access to that, kArEn and her team. So we have to continue to fight. So that's it. That's what I want to get to tonight. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but it did. And you guys can all digest it in any way you want. Maybe we'll do a temperature check next stream and see what the comments are. And we'll go from there. You guys are such great people, and I've had such awesome support over the last couple of weeks and coming forward and really bringing this shit out. JFK, James Jackson, Mike, DJ, Boston Beer, Nan, who's become one of my best friends out of this. You know, and so many other people, DJ. And we have a lot of things that are coming up that we're going to be doing, and there will be some announcements, and we will continue to help kArEn ReAd no matter what. And you know, that's it. And if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I just had a lot of shit that's gone through my mind over the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to just get it out there for you guys. So that's it. That's going to conclude Sunday. I hope we all have some things to think about and reflect, maybe change some things, really make some changes in our lives. This has given me some really deep reflection of things that I can go over. Don't fucking overshare. You know, have your guard up around people. And listen, I'm not perfect. Admit your faults. I'm not perfect at all either. But that's it. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate the support. And you know what? I also want to say this too. I'm thinking about this. Boston Brandy, I want to say thank you to you too, because you know why? You were fucking awesome when I went out and did a lot of those Enrique standouts, and you stood out with us and gave your time and came out. And I really appreciate that. That was fucking awesome that you did that. And I can't remember. Did we do one on New Year's? I think we did one on New Year's Day, and you took time out of your New Year's Day to come out and stand. And that was fucking pretty cool. That was really, really great. Listen, Adam, I see you here. Alexander, all my mods, I thank you. I appreciate it. Again, I had to get this out on the record. I had to put things on the record. And kind of stand with that. And that's just, you know, the way it is right now. And I'm ready to move on. But if the shit continues to stir, I will fight back and I will defend myself. And I think it's time that we all take a look and step back, because what we're doing, if you want to separate this, I guess, into two fucking teams or whatever it is, which is so stupid, you guys can just go do your thing. And we're here over here doing our thing. You know, and what I do here on my channel does not affect anything you do. I'm about getting body cam footage and documents. That's what gets me excited on this channel, to go through that stuff with my subscribers that want to be here and be productive and have great guests that come on this channel and want to give back, give back their time to all of you. That's what I do here, and that's what I want to do here. So listen, the shit needed to be said. It needed to be put out there. Hopefully we all can look a little bit and move on a little bit here in 2026. I think we're all having an opportunity here to reflect. But I wanted to put my story out there. And I believe me, I know it's going to be brought up. I know it will be talked about. I don't care, because I think I've shown enough here to show where I stand, where I've come from. And I guess that's it. That is it. So thank you so much. I appreciate everybody watching on this Sunday night. I'm going to be back on Wednesday with Todd and Nan. We're going to be talking about the recently appointed, but still they have contract negotiations, the new police chief, Chief Daniels in Canton. So we'll be talking about that. So thank you all so much. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you. I see a lot of chat. I know I didn't do a lot of chats tonight because I just kind of wanted this to roll. And thank you all so much. You guys are really great. And hopefully we can get back to being, productive here and not have to keep fucking doing this, because it's fucking draining. It really is fucking draining. I just want to just go off. And I made this very apparent about a year and a couple of months ago that I just want to go do my own thing. And, I don't need it. I don't need the aggravation. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does. So maybe it gives us time to go back and reflect, look a little bit, make some changes. And that's it. All right, everybody. I'm going to head out. Thank you all so much. We'll be back on Wednesday, I think at 6 p.m. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.